Hi, I'm Christy Burcham, Vice President of Education and Training for BERNINA of America, and I'm here with Andrea.
Hi, I'm Andrea Goddard, and I work in product management at BERNINA International. And I've been working on the B990 for the past few years, and I'm excited to show you guys some things about it today in comparison to the other machines.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So you might be familiar with the other BERNINA top-of-the-line machines. We have the B880 and the B790 Pro, and now the B990. So we want to talk about what's kind of different, what's the same between these different models. And the first thing I notice when I look at this is this big screen.
Yes, Christy. We now have a nice 10-inch centered touch screen. So we really worked to kind of modernize and update our user interface to really take advantage of this nice centrally located screen. And you can really see the size difference here between the three machines. So on the 990 now, we have a 10-inch screen compared to the 7-inch screens that we have today on the 880 and the 790 Pro. So it's really a much larger workspace for you.
I love it. You know, the 7-inch screens were already great. And so to go to this size, I think it's really exciting and even makes everything that the machine does easier to do.
Exactly, yeah. And we've really, with this new screen, also the touch gestures are much more intuitive and react faster. So it's really like a phone or a tablet.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. So they're also different in size, right? We have the 7, the 8, and now the 9 are all different sizes.
Yes, exactly. So that to me is the most exciting thing. So, you know, I think BERNINA really went to the next level with the 880 when we made a 12-inch throat machine. And then with the 990, we said, you know, let's do more. So now you have a full 14 inches of throat space here. So if you're a quilter or somebody that makes a lot of bigger projects, you have all the space you will ever need.
I love it. I think it's just so comfortable and all of this space, and the lighting is different too.
That's right. We've really improved the lighting. You can see how much brighter the workspace here is compared to our other machines. So we now actually have 90 LEDs here on the free arm. And if it's too bright for you, you can adjust it. So if you're working at night, you can adjust the light and set it exactly how you want.
Yeah, I love that about BERNINA. You know, everything is all personalized.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love it. So are they the same speed?
So the machine, actually, the 990 is going to be more similar to the 880. So on the 7 series, like the Pro, it's 1,000 stitches per minute. And on the 990, we are at 1,200, like the 880. So it is faster.
A little bit faster. Yeah. Okay, very exciting. And I know that this machine does have a laser like the 790 Pro, correct?
Correct, it does. It's the exact same feature that we brought into the 790 Pro. So that wonderful laser in all needle positions, we have it now also on the 990.
Yeah, I love it for applique because you can see, you know, even where every stitch is going to be.
Yeah, I actually sew with it all the time. Yeah. And I didn't think I would, but I love it.
Yeah, so, I don't know how did we do it before this laser?
Exactly, yeah. And embroidery too, but in sewing, it's great.
Yeah, yeah. So one of the things in sewing I'm so excited about that's totally new is the camera. Can you tell us, maybe show us a little bit about the camera?
Yeah, this machine has a built-in camera. So you can actually use it in both sewing and embroidery, and it's really handy. You can just access it directly on your status bar. It shows immediately on the screen, and the camera is housed under here. So if I put any fabric under here while sewing, I can use it to align my stitches, just kind of get a nice preview that that stitch fits perfectly. But in embroidery, it does a lot more.
I can't wait. So we'll talk about embroidery a little bit later, but I love that camera and I think it's so exciting. And especially with decorative stitches, you can really see how it's going to look on your fabric. So
exactly.
It's a very exciting feature. So I've always loved the help on BERNINA machines. There's some on-screen help. There's the creative consultant. So a lot of great on-board tools to help, but it's to the next level with this machine.
Yes, that's right, Christy. So what we've done is we really wanted to take advantage of the center touchscreen and the nice large screen. And so we decided, you know, let's put the entire user manual directly on the machine.
Wow.
So if I go and navigate to the home, I have the Help Center icon right here. And here on the main screen, I can see exactly what's in here. So we have a quick start, tells you how to get threaded, how to get started sewing. We have the user manual. The entire user manual is actually on this machine. And then we have the consultant. But what's really great about the Help Center is that you can now access everything here also on an external device. So as long as I'm connected to the same Wi-Fi network, I can now, there will be a QR code that you can scan here. And you can scan that on your tablet or your phone, and now you have the help center here.
Okay,
And
so
it's really independent.
I could even like be sewing and have my sewing screen up and then help beside me.
Right.
So I can see both at the same time.
You can see both at the same time. And it's really, the entire help center is right there for you.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we have an automatic needle threader, correct?
Yes, we do. So on this machine, it's similar to the 790 Pro needle threader. Of course, the 880 also has that automatic needle threader, but this one will work in the same way as the Pro.
Okay, well, that's become really essential for me. It's not as easy to see that little hole in the needle anymore, so I love having that automatic needle threader. It's really handy. So there's also something different about the stitch plate. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, I can. We now have automatic stitch plate recognition, and what that is as soon as the stitch plate is off or a new one is applied on, the machine tells me what stitch plate that is. And it's always directly in my status bar. So I see right now I have the standard, the 9mm stitch plate, and if I remove that plate, it now tells me none. It knows there's no plate, and I can put another one on, and it automatically recognizes what plate's there. So if I'm using a 5mm plate and I have a 9mm stitch, the stitches will show in red that they're not working with that stitch plate. So it's really a built-in security, but it also just makes it much easier for you. You don't have to set it like you do on the other machines.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we've had security on the 790 Pro and the 880, but now it's more automatic.
Exactly. Just another feature to make it easier for you to use.
That's fantastic. So now we have dual feed on this machine, as we have on many other Bernina machines, but it's a little bit different than, say, the 790 Pro, correct?
Correct, that's correct. The dual feed here is more like the 880, so you can actually adjust that balance. So you can tell it if you need to feed more or less depending on the fabric you're sewing.
So you can really fine-tune things.
Yeah,
this
you can
way.
really fine-tune.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So one of the things I'm the most excited about on this machine is what's called jumbo stitch. Can you show us jumbo stitch?
Yes, I can show you what jumbo stitch is. So jumbo stitch is an entirely new feature, and basically it allows you to set any stitch on this machine or any decorative stitch to make it larger or smaller, but not just a little bit, but actually you could go really, really large with your stitches. The best way to show you that is to just show you an example. So you can see here, we have a nice scrollable folder overview of all of the decorative stitches. There are more than 2,000 stitches on this machine.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of new fun stitches for you. And if I select one here, I see very nicely in the screen what that looks like. That's the default size. This is a sideways motion stitch, but I want to make it really big. Maybe I want to use this as a quilting stitch. So I can come into my edit menu, and you notice now everything has a name. So jumbo stitch, I don't have to try to find the icon. I can just select it and it's there for me. And then I can make this really large.
Wow.
So you can go up to 500%, which is 170 millimeters. So that's pretty big. That's bigger than some of our embroidery hoops.
Wow.
And I can reset it back to normal. And it's just so great because I can see exactly what's happening on the screen as I adjust
Yeah,
it.
that preview on this big screen is so easy to see and it's really exciting. I love this feature. I've had a lot of fun playing with it, so it's very exciting.
Yeah.
Now there's distortion on this machine as well, like we had on the 880.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can do the same thing there. So we have now our distort, and then I can adjust exactly as you would on the 880.
Yeah, so you can really get creative with those stitches.
You can do anything. Yeah.
Just about anything you can imagine. So now there are a lot of stitches on here. You said 2,000?
Yeah, over 2,000 with
Wow.
the alphabet stitches.
Can you show us a few of them?
I can. So if I go to my full screen file manager view here, I now have a nice overview of each folder and all of the stitches inside. And we've really had fun making some new stitches. So we have these really cute emoji stitches.
I love those.
So you can stitch a little surprised face, a smiley face, and you can see here again exactly what they look like. I also have we have some constellation stitches. We have some new kind of comic book, little saying stitches. So we've really had fun making some new fun and creative stitches. But of course, we also have a lot of really great practical, more decorative that you would use more often stitches as well. And I can select. So you can see some are really quite large.
Yeah.
So we have tons of different things for you to play with. And then, of course, you can edit them as you wish.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And again, with that big screen, so easy to play with, and that jumbo stitch, distortion, so much we can do with all of those stitches. That's really exciting. Now, I think lettering, there's a little bit, it's a little easier to see here with the bigger screen, and there's some new fonts for lettering as well.
We do. We have now 16 different alphabets in sewing that you can select from. And we've kind of made it, you know, for example, if I'm going to go into combi mode to start typing something, and I can select, let's select one of the new ones. This one's kind of nice, this long, thin. So they're really kind of classical looking letters. And you can see here above, we have shortcuts. So if I don't want to scroll through all of the different letters, I can just simply select lowercase, number, etc., and start typing. So I can come in and start creating whatever I want to say.
Wow. That really makes it easier, especially when you're trying to make a label or something and you're putting a lot of letters in. I think that's exciting. Now, what if I want to save this? Is that any different?
Yes, actually, we now have, since we have this new updated file manager, we've tried to make it more like a computer. So it's much easier for you to save your stitches or your embroidery designs. And we have this save icon here now on the screen. And I can come here and even save combi mode. So I can save this stitch, and we will just call it what it is, AH.
Did you just name the stitch?
I just named the stitch.
Wow, that is a great feature. I love that.
And the keyboard you see pops up. It's
Yeah.
your standard computer keyboard, and now I can name it. So you're not trying to find what you saved
Right.
before. It's now always has a name. And I'm saving always everything in my personal folder. And in there I can make new folders, so I can organize everything exactly how I want.
So just like a computer.
Just like
you
a
were saying.
computer. And then once it's saved, I can now navigate to my heart. And there I can see some of the stitches that I've saved here before. And I have this nice little icon that tells me it's a combi mode stitch. So I
Oh.
don't have to guess what it is. And I can even long press and get a nice preview of my saved
Wow,
stitches.
that is really cool. That's
And
very
I
exciting.
can just open them directly from here.
It's so easy. I think this machine is the easiest Bernina I've ever worked with.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah,
And
really-
it has a lot of new features.
A lot of new features, really intuitive, big screen. There's so much to love about it. So now we're ready to talk about embroidery.
Yes.
So we've already selected embroidery. Now, we don't have the module on, but that's okay. We can still work on embroidery even without the module on the machine. And what is this big blank screen that we're looking at here?
What is this big blank screen? So we have really reworked the embroidery edit screen, and that's actually what you're seeing here now. So you might look and say, okay, I don't know what to do here, but similar to today, you can start adding your designs. So I just hit the plus, and then again, I have my file manager here. I can navigate through and see all of the different embroidery designs in each category. And you might notice we have EXP on a lot of the designs. Those are our standard format embroidery designs. We have over 875 designs on this machine. And we also have over 200 BQM designs, which you might be familiar with on the Pro. That's our new computerized quilting designs, and they're clearly labeled here so you know which is which. So we have tons of designs for you to really get started playing with, and I'm just going to go ahead and select one. You know, actually, let's go to something a little more fun here so you can see, you can scroll through, and let's do these kind of cute little stars. And now they open in the hoop size that would fit best for that design, but of course I can change the hoop. Come now to the status bar similar to today, and we have an overview of all of the hoops for this machine. And you can see we have a new hoop. This is the giant hoop, and this hoop is about 12 by 16 inches. It's extremely large, and it allows you to do a full 12-inch quilt block.
We actually have them here, so let's take a look. So this is the maxi hoop, right? This is the biggest hoop that you can use on the B790 Pro.
Correct.
So I'll hand you that one. And then this is the jumbo hoop, which is even bigger, and that's the biggest one you can use on the B880.
Yep.
And then this is the giant hoop. It's pretty impressive.
It is.
Yeah. It's really exciting to be able to do this much embroidery all at one time. So I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, and it's, we're keeping that same great ratchet, so it's just so easy to hoop. And, the bigger the hoop, the harder it is to hoop. But this one is super simple because, again, I just have that quick turn ratchet. And like I said, I could do a full 12-inch quilt block. So it really gives you a lot of capability that we didn't have possible before.
Wow,
So.
wow. Like a 12-inch square.
A 12-inch square, a full 12-inch square. Wow. So, and actually on the quilt behind us, you can see that's all on a 12-inch grid, and I did all of the quilting in the hoop with the BQM files.
That is really cool. That's very exciting because 12 is a standard size for a quilt block. So being able to do that, I think, it's a game changer.
Yeah, it is. It's such a nice hoop, and it works really for a lot of different fabrics and everything. So it's great.
That's really cool. So can you show us how you change colors with this? Because it looks a little bit different, doesn't it, with this machine changing colors of your design?
It does. So what we have now, we have this nice large area to play with when we're editing designs. And I can also like move and rotate my designs directly here with my fingers and touch gestures. And I'm just going to zoom in so we see this design really nicely. And then I'm going to change the colors here. So I can come to my edit menu, which is the pencil. So again, keeping familiar with the things that we have today. And I have all of my edit sub menus here. So this is for my editing, arranging, and then positioning. And I'm going to change the colors. So I'm going to come in and change the little arrow. And you can see now I have these kind of fun little color dots that easily represent the different colors in my thread brand. And I can just simply select, go to the next color, and watch the colors change immediately on the screen.
It's so easy, and I do love the little dots. It really does make it fun.
Yeah. And I can also search, and when I open up the search, I have them in a little bit larger view, and I can start typing in one of my thread colors I have, and it's going to narrow it down to all of the thread colors in that palette with those numbers. So I can select a new one here and change it.
So cool. That's really cool. I love that. And one of the things that kind of blew me away, you were just showing, you were zooming with 2 fingers there.
Yeah. So I have some different touch gestures here. So I can now use 2 fingers like a pinch and zoom, again, similar to an iPad or a phone. And I can really zoom in anywhere on my screen and get a nice overview. I also can pan. So maybe I have something over here I need to see, and I don't want to move the design. Because if I touch this and move, it's moving the design. So now if I use a 2-finger pan, I can pan without moving my design.
Okay, so I don't have to go switch to panning mode or anything. I just do it with 2 fingers.
You just do it with 2 fingers. Also works with a mouse. So you could then use the right click on the mouse.
Yes. I have to interrupt you because that is so exciting. So that is really cool. And I just think it's going to be so easy to play with my designs and experiment, play with colors, and so easy to size because you've got the handles right on the screen.
Exactly. You can just size them here. This is proportionally resizing. And if I want to make it just taller, I can grab in the middle and make it a little taller. And if I really need to be a little more precise with my zooming, or I want to go back just to the default state, I can just open the view toolbar, select default, it goes back to give me the whole overview, and I can also zoom from here. So we give you a lot of options, whatever you're most comfortable with. But I find I'm using so much the finger gestures now, I can just do it really intuitively, very quickly, and design everything on my screen.
That's so cool, that's so cool. Now, pinpoint placement is something that we had with the B880 and the B790 Pro. Do we still have that with this machine?
We do, and we actually have the 4-point placement like we have on the Pro, so we have all of the different variations of pinpoint placement on the machine. You do have to have the module and the hoop connected, but just to show you, it's all accessible here in the position menu. And I have all of the great positioning features we're used to, the virtual positioning, checking the center, endless embroidery, and pinpoint as well. And it'll then ask to attach the module and hoop, and then you could use it similar to the Pro. With the larger screen now, we have the nice text there telling you exactly how you can adjust everything in pinpoint.
That's really cool. You mentioned earlier the BQM files. So this has those customizable quilt designs like were introduced on the B790 Pro. And here we can still do things like adjusting the stitches per inch. Is there anything special about using these files on this machine?
Yes, we actually have quite a few new features to help you really customize and adjust your quilting with these files. The first, I'm going to just delete this one, and I'm going to navigate back and select one of my BQM files. So we'll just select this feather design here. So the first thing that we've done now is this machine now will be able to read other formats that are similar to BQM. So
Okay.
it can now read the competitor formats. So if you have a long arm at home and you have some different formats, you can now also read those, and they will behave the same way as the BQM files on the 790 Pro.
So it really expands the potential of different types of designs you can put on.
Correct, yeah. So you can really find anything available in any of the online shops or so with the different formats.
Wow, wow, that's cool. That's cool.
And in addition, you know, we've kind of been using this feature a bit more now with the 790 Pro, and we have some feedback, and we've implemented some new additional features. And you can see here, I can show the start and stop of these designs now, and I can also manipulate those a bit. I can flip it and match the points. So it's really like a long arm quilting software on the machine, so I can get perfectly matched quilting designs.
So it's really not just a sewing and embroidery machine, it's also a quilting
It's
machine.
a quilting machine,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's really exciting. That's pretty special. So the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is lettering, because that's different on this machine too, correct?
Yep, we have also improved the embroidery lettering. So we have now, let me just go back here, and I'm going to navigate to my embroidery lettering font folder, and we have all of these brand new font styles for you.
They're
And
beautiful.
they're really fun to play with. I'm just going to select this one. This one tends to be my favorite. And again, we have the nice keyboard that appears like we had in saving. I can center and right and left align my font. I'm just going to type in my name because that's as creative as I am at the moment. And I'm going to say, okay. So now I have my name. It's here in the hoop. And what's really nice is we can now adjust the size of all of those embroidery lettering files, and they actually will recalculate the stitches.
Oh, wow. So we're not limited on the size of the design. We can go up and down quite a lot.
Exactly. And it really, you can come here. We're going to just go ahead, go to edit and resize. And I'm just going to adjust it with the knob a little bit, so I can really get a custom size, and all of the stitches are perfectly recalculated for me.
Wow, wow. Now, I know you wouldn't do this, but let's just say we misspelled our name and we needed to change it. Can we do that?
We can come here, and again, in the edit menu, I now have a whole new submenu for lettering, and I can come here to edit the text, and that allows me now to go back and edit anything that I've typed. So I could fix something. I can type Andy, which is my nickname here, and I can do, and it just automatically
That's so
changes.
cool. Yeah, so we didn't have to start over.
We didn't have to start over. And I can say, you know, I don't like that font so much. Let's go and change it. And I get a nice preview here of exactly what that will look like.
That is awesome. I love these new lettering features. I use lettering and embroidery a lot, and I think a lot of our customers do too. They really want to do a lot of quilt labels and personalization, so this is really special.
Yeah, it is. And you can really make your own monograms because you can make the designs much larger too. So
Yeah. Okay, so the thing I've been waiting to talk to you about is there's a scanner.
there is a scanner.
Tell me about it.
So we mentioned quickly in the sewing that there's a camera.
Yeah.
And what does that camera do for me in embroidery? Well, it actually will scan your entire hoop and show it directly on the screen, so you can place everything on your screen and visualize it, what it would look like. So you can see here we have the hoop before, we scanned before, and this is the giant hoop with this nice design, all that are also in the machine. And I'm going to now go ahead and find that design, or show you how it was scanned. So let's select the giant hoop. I'm just going to remove my name because I don't want to put my name on those flowers. And I'm going to go back to my view toolbar. So the view toolbar always houses everything that adjusts my view of the hoop. And I'm going to come back here to the hoop background, and I'm going to select scanned. Now it will pull up the scan that we previously did.
So it remembers it.
It remembers it until I click delete there and delete it. And you can see what is shown is exactly the scan of the hoop that we have here.
Wow, that's so cool. So if I wanted to like add another flower to it or maybe put a monogram in the corner, I would see exactly what it's going to look like?
You can see exactly what it looks like. So I can say, okay, now I have that picture in my hoop. and then I can place additional designs. So these flowers are really fun. It's a new collection we have that's built in, and it's also featured on the dress that we've made for the campaign. And so under the inspiration folder and the dress, I have all of those fun little flowers. So I can select a new one, and I can go ahead and zoom out. Let me first put the hoop back. Because we don't have the module attached, it's always just defaulting for us, but we can just quickly back and select, and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to add that flower there, and maybe I can come duplicate another one and position it over here. I can make it a little smaller, and I can really zoom in and get it exactly where I want it.
Wow. That is so exciting. And there's so much you can do with this, you know, adding to something you've already done, or maybe if you have like a shirt with a pocket on it and you want to stitch over the top of the pocket, you could see exactly where that pocket is with this scanner.
You can put it exactly where you want it. It also works great for quilting designs, so I could scan my quilt block and then kind of position them and connect them how I want and get a nice preview.
Yeah.
And I also can now send this scan to my V9 software.
Really?
Yes.
So I can scan it to my software and then I can see the scan and add designs to it there?
Exactly. So this background now will transfer that exact image to the background in your V9 software, and then you can digitize on top of it. So maybe you have a fun little picture or something on some fabric that you want to digitize and embroider again. You could take it in there and then digitize on top, or add to something that's already embroidered. Maybe you buy a cushion from the store and you want to add your name to it, so you could scan it and then place it in the software, send it back, and the design's perfectly placed and ready to go.
Oh, that is so cool. So does that work over Wi-Fi?
It does. It works over Wi-Fi. So you can send embroidery designs to and from V9, like we can do also on the 790 Pro with the Wi-Fi, but now we can also send the scanned background.
Oh, that's really cool. Is there anything else I can do with Wi-Fi?
I can connect to the Help Center, as we showed in the sewing video, and I can connect to the Stitch Out app. So it works similar on the 790 Pro, and then I can monitor the embroidery progress from that app.
So I can walk away and it tells me, hey, your design's finished sewing, or you need to change the thread, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Yep.
That's really cool. So I've had a lot of fun learning about these new features. There's so much to be excited about. And one thing that I've always loved about Bernina is we're always looking for new ideas. We've always got new features, exciting new things, but we never also forget about the quality. And this machine says Stitch Precision 2 right on the front of it, like the B790 Pro did.
Yep.
And that really means that there's continued quality improvements. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
I can. So, you know, we've really been working very hard here at Bernina to improve the overall embroidery experience and quality on our machines. And part of that was this new Stitch Precision 2 upgrade. So we have some improved threading processes, so it's a little easier for you to thread the machine. The hook has some improvements, so it just works a little bit better for you. And all of these quality things, most of them are hardware with the Stitch Precision 2. You don't see so much, but they really make a huge difference on the sound and the experience with this machine.
Yeah.
So, and we also have the SDT module that also came out on all of our top-of-the-line embroidery machines. And that's also on this as well.
So we have that same technology with the new module, because it is a different module than the other module machines.
Yes.
So I have had so much fun. I can't wait to spend more time with this machine. I know all of the sewists out there cannot wait to get their hands on this machine. Thank you so much, Andrea, for going over this with me. I've had a lot of fun.
You're so welcome. I'm excited to see what everybody makes.
Yeah.
Bernina, made to create.